Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. So, for the esteemed member of the board of any supervisor, today I am pleased to present the 75% progress milestone of my final project. It was Central Java Village clustering based on social, economic, and environmental excellence indicates for supporting the village cooperative program of COPDES using the K-means algorithm. In our previous 50% progress milestone, we successfully laid the foundational data pipelines, execute rigorous engineering on 7,810 villages across Central Java using the 2024 Index Desa Membangun dataset and normalize our pillars. Today, we step into the most critical phase, algorithmic modeling, finding the mathematically optimal number of clusters and validating their structure to ensure the policy recommendations are built on concrete mathematical evidence. Okay, next. So, through detailing our model, let us recall the overarching framework of this study. Our project is not merely an exercise in clustering, it is academic response to a real-world governance challenge in Indonesia. So, in Indonesia, many village cooperatives fail because they are established as empty entities historically known as koperasi desa, but considering local capacity. To prevent this, we utilize a data-driven policy framework by checking 7,810 villages in Central Java and modeling their multidimensional capacities across social, economic, and environmental pillars. We provide a predictive stacking model. This ensures that a cooperative is only established where there is structural readiness and where weakness exists, targeted policy intervention in deployed first. Next. Okay. Our modeling engine is built on K-means, a distance-based clustering algorithm. However, distance-based algorithms are highly sensitive to feature scaling. To guarantee perfect feature parity, we applied min-max scaler. This scales every pillar value strictly within a 0 to 1 range. This mathematically preparation ensures that our three pillars, IKS, IKE, and IKL, contribute equally to Euclidean distance calculation. No single pillar dominates the distance matrix simply because of its original scale. The resulting normalized vector space allow the K-means algorithm to find cluster centroids that are geometrically accurate and perfectly balanced across all three dimensions of rural resilience. Next. Uh, the next slide, 4, 5, and 6 will presented by Atri Wiraguna.
Okay, and this slide documents the great method to challenge in determining of number clustering. To do this, the high academic rigor, we must balance two option mathematical goals. First, we have mathematical compactness measure be inertia or within cluster some squares or VCCS. And our goal is to drive inertial down, making village with each cluster as similar as possible. However, if we have pushed T too high, the data, the data becomes fragmented and lose practical meaning. Second, we have distinct separation measured by silhouette score. This ensure clear boundaries between cluster. If we have too few cluster, we risk oversampling the distant reality of the village. Therefore, we have need to model statistical both mathematical precision and polish utility. Okay, next. Okay, next is to resolve this, we plot a dual axis graph testing key means graph test key from to trunk 7. Let us analyze the metric at key equal to, we have the high silhouette a score of 0.3483, but our inertia in extremely high at 4059.98. This included that two clusters are mathematically to growth and suffer for high interest inertia variance. As we move to K equal 3, we observe a substantial drop in VCSS down to 313.9.3 a reduce of over 25.7%. This representation a significant increase in cluster compacts between equal 3, the rate of decline in VCSS flatten, which is our elbow point. Well, silhouette score drop constantly. This proof that T equal 3 is our mathematical threshold where any incremental gain in VCSS components in highly outweighed by the drop in cluster separation. Okay, next. The next one is the key equal 3 is select as our dependency sweet spot. Is the exam point where mathematical rigor harmonies with academical policy design. Our final model achieved a silhouette score 0.3318, which indicated a robust and reasonable cluster structure for high dimension section economic data. More importantly, these three clusters perfectly mirror standard government intervention tier for village empowerment. This translates our complex multi-dimension mathematical vector into three highlight article category that any government agency can easily target. Gravity support, condition readiness, and autonomous feasibility. Okay, next slide. To understanding what this cluster represents, we ask analysis the mean score of the three IDM pillars across each group. Cluster 0, color pink, they represent our transition village that are highly vulnerable, suffering from massive defeat in both environment and economic pillar, with the lowest overall resistance relations. Cluster 1 is so in green represents a premier and autonomous village. These villages are dominated across all three pillars, showing exceptional capacity and are highly prepared for business and cooperative operation. The next is cluster 2, so in brown represents sustainable but potential village. Interestingly, their villages are very strong environmental and even and city cluster 1 in economical stable. Yet then actual distant economic weakness prove that each cluster demand a radical different government intervention strategy based on the special pillar. Okay, next will be get the Alfi Ajaria.
Okay, for the next slide, on slide 8, We translate our clustering result into a strategic metric to guide government action for cluster 1. Classified as a highly feasible, the policy is immediate, independent, and modern complex implementation. This village have the social and economic capital to run digital cooperative. For cluster 2, classified as conditional feasibly, we recommend mandatory sectoral assistance first, since they are economically weak but environmental strong. The cooperative must focus on ecotourism or sustainable agriculture, backed by government training for clusters classified as not feasibly. We advise postponing cooperative establishment. Instead, the government must prioritize basic recovery and foundational social environmental resilience before introducing financial programs. Okay, so the last one is, as we conclude the 75% milestone briefing, let us look at our next step. We have successfully completed data engineering, modeling, model optimization, and cluster profiling. In our final 25% of the project, we will focus on translating this profile into specific business unit recommendation, such as digital payment system for cluster 1 and accommodation cooperative for cluster 2. We are also finalizing the data-driven framework as an interactive dashboard template for this permits Central Java, ensuring this project delivers direct social impact. Okay, so the next one is I will show you the code that we made on the Google Colab. Okay, so the previous we done the normalized data. So this is for the K to find the K means. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So K means number 2, K means number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. So it is the VCSS on the number 2 is 556,9790. For the solid score is 0.3483. And for the K3 is 339.2956 and the solid score is 0.3318. Why we take the K3? Because it's most usable and suitable for our project, because we must find three cluster, the 0 and 1, the 0 cluster, 1 cluster, and 2 cluster. That's why we use the K3, not the K2. Okay, so this is for the K-mean clustering. So the K final is 3. Okay, this is for the evaluation cluster. We get the 39.2956 for the pilot. So the score is 0.3318. Okay, this is for interpretation. This is what we get from the interpretation from profit rata-rata pillar for the cluster. And this is the comparison of our score. So the cluster 0, cluster 1, and cluster 2. Because why we take the K3? Because we use 3 cluster. The cluster 0, cluster 1, and cluster 2. If we only take 2 cluster, we will use the K2. Because our cluster is 3, we take the K3. Even the VCSS and the Swiss score is more below than K2. That's why we use it. So this is the comparison score we got from the IDM 2024 in Central Java. Okay, maybe that's all for the 75% project presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.